All right, so what I am going to do now is I am going to introduce our first speaker for today, and we will have another opportunity for a Q&A session later this afternoon. So the first speaker that I'd like to introduce us to is Patrick, and Patrick has a really amazing bio and has been involved, obviously, in the education sector for a number of years. He's majored in accounting and ICT and been part of, obviously obtained his Bachelor of Education and FET phase in 2019, but also worked a lot, like I said, in the education sector. Patrick, who's also really somebody that's quite sociable, loves to engage with individuals, and also loves finding himself in the realm of technology if he's not playing volleyball in his free time. So also combining the fact that we do need to have balance between the amount of time we spend with technology and having a social activity as well. So Patrick, we're really glad to have you. We know that you're very passionate about 4IR and the AI environment in terms of artificial intelligence. So I want to hand over to you. I hope I've done justice to your bio. It's a very impressive bio. There's so much more on your bio, but I'd let you speak for yourself as well as you introduce your presentation and talk us through the concepts of 4IR. And also as a representative of a 4IR ambassador with UJ as well. So welcome, Patrick. We're glad you're here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Patrick Makhubalo. Yes, as you have said, I'm passionate about 4IR because I was interested about these developments that we see globally. So currently I'm doing my master's in ICT, Information and Communication Technology, here at UJ, but I'm a teacher by the profession, as we've said. Okay, I would like to share my screen. Sorry. Okay, as we're going to talk about the fourth industrial revolution. So the first thing that you have to know, or the first thing that you have to think about, what is 4IR? I'm saying this because many people, they are scared of 4IR. They will tell you a lot of things. They will tell you about robotics. Hey, these things are going to take our jobs and so forth. So I think many people need knowledge on what is 4IR. So basically, since we're going to focus on 4IR, the fourth industrial revolution in schools, it's very important to know how will 4IR prepare our learners for the future. What kind of skills our learners going to get from this revolution? What kind of teaching our teachers need to engage with our learners in the schools? So when we check definition of 4IR, what is 4IR basically? So I put the author here. I like this author because he talks much about 4IR. Maybe you can just check in Google Scholar when you have free time. So basically, the fourth industrial revolution, or 4IR, is the term used to describe the situation of biological, physical, and digital world. That means we see three things here. Biological is about our nature. Physical is about our environment we live in. And digital is about this advancement of technology. So it's about advancements of technologies. Which technologies? Artificial intelligence, robotics, Internet of Things, 3D printing, and genetic engineering. These technologies are employed in the workplace to facilitate efficiency and productivity in a changing work environment. So that means when we check this definition of 4IR, we have to reflect on our life, on our workplace, because now we see many developments that are driven by the technology. So these technologies that are aligned 4IR, they are meant to improve our standard of living, if I can put in simple way, to advance how people work, how people learn, how people collaborate, how people live, how people need to live in our societies. So let me continue. What are skills for the fourth industrial revolution? So when we check the demands of 4IR in terms of skills demands and so forth, we can check our 21st century skills. What are those 4 C's that I've been talking about in 21st century? I even put here 4 C's. We can talk about collaboration, creativity, communication, and critical thinking. I will explain this thing at a later stage. And you have to check about the competency skills, innovative skills, skills for a changing world, soft skills, and self-management technology. So when you check this, 4IR is not only about technology, it integrates a lot of skills. Many people will tell that, no, 4IR is about using robotics, it's about doing this and that. No, it is about a lot of skills that I mentioned here, soft skills particularly, self-management technology, and so forth. So let me continue. The fourth industrial revolution in schools. So the main purpose is about 4IR in schools. So my question is, how can we make sure that our schools are aligned with the fourth industrial revolution or 4IR? What kind of skills needed, or what kind of skills our learners need to be equipped with? Remember, 4IR is not about education only, it's about also economy and so forth. So in order for us to say our schools are preparing our learners for the future workplace, they need to be equipped with skills and knowledge about 4IR. So the question is, how are we going to make sure that our learners are well equipped with these developments of 4IR? So I have a few points here. In order for our schools basically to be aligned with 4IR, we have to look for several things in the schools. We cannot just say 4IR is about using smart board and laptop or any device. It's not about 4IR. What kind of knowledge? How are we going to make sure that our teachers are well prepared for this 4IR? Our teachers have knowledge and efficient pedagogy that needs to be used in schools. So here I want to talk about implementation of 4IR resources for teaching and learning. Our schools need to be equipped with these 4IR resources. Infrastructure also, because 4IR, as I've said, is about, we combine a lot of skills, soft skills, technology, competencies, skills for a changing world, and so forth. So we have to say our schools need to be equipped with these resources. And I think in South Africa, that's when you're going to see a gap, because most of our schools, they don't have enough resources for them to integrate 4IR in schools. And also have to talk about knowledge on how to integrate 4IR tools during the pedagogy instructions. Remember, when I defined 4IR, I said it's about, I don't know how to put it. It's about advancing of technology, robotics, Internet of Things, and so forth. So knowledge on how to integrate 4IR tools during the pedagogy instructions. That means here, we have to focus on how teachers teach using 4IR tools, because pedagogy is about art of teaching. How teachers teach our learners using 4IR tools. What kind of pedagogy our teachers need to use in order for learners or for the recipient to be able to participate or to be active in our 4IR era. Teacher development. Are we sure that our teachers are well trained for this 4IR? What kind of training our teachers need to have in order for them to integrate 4IR in the classroom. How long? Because now we cannot say we're going to teach our teachers, we're going to train our teachers on how to use 4IR, and then we have once-off training. It's not enough. And we also have to talk about curriculum amendments. We all understand what curriculum is, because curriculum is guiding us what to teach and how to teach, what kind of knowledge, what kind of skills. We have to focus on our objectives for that particular content. So it's very important for our curriculum to be, we don't say our curriculum is absolute, actually. We say curriculum need to be aligned with these changes. These changes now, they are driven by 4IR tools. They are driven by 4IR era. Technology is being used as the source in this era. Therefore, our curriculum also needs to be amended somewhere, somehow, because these skills needs to be aligned with the content, needs to be aligned with the objective of the lesson, needs to be aligned on what kind of knowledge our learners need to be equipped with. How will learners be able to relate this knowledge authenticity using 4IR tools of 4IR, and also choosing right 4IR tools. What kind of tools? You know that most of schools now, they have this policy, ICT policy, which talk about 4IR tools. The problem is that we have many 4IR tools, but not all those tools are gonna be effective in terms of our content, our subject knowledge. Therefore, it's very important that when we teach our learners this technology, these 4IR tools, this 4IR knowledge and so forth, we have to use right tools that will be aligned with what learners need to learn. How will they need to learn? When you check, and we talked about pedagogy, it's very important, because during the process of teaching and learning, that's why now we're going to use these technology tools. I'm not talking about using smartboard, projector, and computer only. Yes, it's part of 4IR because we have to use these tools, but it's not, we don't use those tools effectively. Teaching learners about 4IR is not only about using slides. It's not only about showing the videos on the PowerPoint or on the screen. There are many things that you have to do. In that pedagogy, when we use 4IR, remember, we have to go back to the skills of fourth industrial revolution. What kind of teaching, what kind of tools can we use? How will learners react? How will the teachers interact with learners using these tools? If I can make an example, as I am accounting teacher, nowadays we know that, yes, in high schools or in schools, our students will be taught how to draw that template for financial statements and other things. Then they have to prepare themselves financial statements. But now, as accounting teacher, when I go to schools and teach accounting using 4IR tools, I don't have to show learners PowerPoint only. I have to use resources. I have to use softwares that are aligned with this 4IR era. If we can go to our workplace now, you will see that, especially in the field whereby accounting is being dominated, like in bank and other companies, both private and public, they use certain softwares that will prepare themselves for whatever that they are doing. So it's very important that our learners, they start from their high school level or primary levels on how to use right ICT tools and how to use software in each particular content, in each particular subject. Like, for example, I can say we have what we call Cyro software. Accounting teacher go to class, they collaborate with learners, of which is part of 21st century forces. They collaborate using this Cyro software. You see that by the time learners are done with the academics, ready for workplace, already they have knowledge on how to integrate accounting content using technology. What kind of softwares are we going to use? So what I'm saying is that for us to prepare learners for the future workplace, it's not only about using smartboard and computer. It's about having knowledge from our teachers, how to integrate this software. How am I going to teach learners using this software? Remember, now we talk about learner-centered engagement of teachers and learners. Then when these people collaborate, obvious, and they're going to gather a lot of ideas and so forth in terms of innovation and so forth. So I don't want to talk I don't want to talk much about that. Maybe I will talk about this at a later stage. Now, what is the advantage of 4IR? Here I try to summarize, because 4IR is not only about technology. As I've said, there are many things that I think I will break them in the future. According to World Economic Forum, the 4IR is about more than just technology-driven change, as I've said. It is an opportunity to help everyone from all income groups and nations to harness conversion technologies in order to create an inclusive, human-centered future. The opportunity is to find ways to give the greatest number of people the ability to positively impact their families, organizations, and communities. Why 4IR in schools? Why should we use integrate 4IR in schools? It's not the matter of knowing technology. It's not a matter of knowing that someone can do this, can visualize the lesson, can prepare PowerPoints, can prepare videos, can use computer to type. It's not about that only. Essentially, education must provide young people with the skills and competencies that will need to succeed in the 4IR. Learners must be prepared for this workforce, as they will be required to have critical and expert thinking and complex forms of communication. Innovation, ability to use ideas and technology tools to design it and to be innovative. That means our learners now, or our stakeholders in the education system, will be able to be innovative using 4IR tools, of which is part of demands of the 21st century. Innovation, ability to gather or to use ideas and technology tools to design and to be innovative, instead of using our old model of doing things. Like, for example, for our teaching and learning, we know that we have what we call this method, this pedagogy, TPEC, technological pedagogical content knowledge. That's when now a teacher or educator integrate or use or facilitate teaching and learning using technology. It's very important that when we prepare our learners for this future workplace, they are well equipped with the resources, right ICT tools resources, so that they can be able to facilitate or they can be able to do what? To design on their own, to generate new ideas from the resources that they have. And also we have to talk about soft skills. Usually I used to tell some of educators in Eastern that soft skills is part of our curriculum in schools, because when you check the hidden curriculum is about professionalism, making sure that our learners are well, they dress properly, they behave and so forth. So soft skills is part of what we're already doing in schools. So it's about professionalism, attitudes and behavior. 4IR needs someone that is well professional, that can behave, that can contribute in the workplace, that can be an asset of the company or the employer. Someone that will be able to collaborate effectively with other people, someone that will be able to communicate with other people, someone that will be able to work collaboratively to design or to solve a problem, ability to use the ideas, to share ideas, to create a product at the end. So all these skills are requirement of 4IR in workplace. As such, learners must be taught these skills in order to be competitive in the future workplace. Learners are well prepared. They have resources. They have infrastructure. Teachers are well prepared on how to use 4IR in the classroom. They know what kind of software they can use in this particular content, in the particular topic or whatever. So now If we have those kind of knowledge or background, technology background is the source, because this for the main source is about technology, is about robotics, is part of technology. I was happy because the Minister of Education last year, is 2019, she introduced this thing of robotics and coding in the schools. But the problem is, are we sure that our teachers, or we are in the safe side to use robotics and coding if we fail to understand what is 4IR, what is 4IR technologies, is another topic for another day. So how learners adapt to these 4IR skills? It depends on the following, as I've said: teachers' pedagogy. In the classroom, teachers need to use this technology, as I mentioned. The suitable pedagogy that can be used by a teacher is TPEC, technological pedagogical content knowledge. That means a teacher now uses technology to facilitate teaching and learning, to teach our learners. Learners learn using technology. They can use this software to collaborate. They can use this software to design. They can use this software to boost their knowledge. They can use this software to relate their content in reality. They use this software to get more information, to boost their knowledge, to solve the problem. Use of resources such as ICT tools for teachers and learners. Sufficient 4IR knowledge and application. Collaboration of teachers and learners in terms of knowledge and knowledge sharing and skills and infrastructure, as I've said. So 4IR demands a lot of skills. Yes, I understand that in our country, most of our schools, they are not ready for this. Reason being infrastructure, reason being resources. Because if we can check, in order for us to say we are aligned with 4IR, we have to talk about we have to meet three things. The first one is about knowledge. Our people need to understand what is 4IR. What is 4IR all about? Number two, we have to talk about infrastructure and resources. We need to have those kind of resources so that our learners are prepared for the future, even for higher level of learning. It's very important because here at the university, most of our first-year students, when they come from a high school level, they come here without having a foundation, a knowledge on how to use 4IR. They can't even use technology. But now, levels that they are in needs them to have knowledge that is aligned with 4IR, how to use 4IR tools for learning, how to use 4IR for teaching and learning. So it is very important that we start now to make sure that our teachers, our education system is aligned with this 4IR. More things need to be done. But if we collaborate, if we engage with our stakeholders, if we engage with our private sectors in terms of support, financial support, and so forth, we can be there. We don't have to say we are in the 4IR era or our teachers are well equipped with 4IR if they can use technology, if they can use softwares, if they don't have resources, if our learners themselves don't have resources. Because teachers need to engage with learners using these softwares, using these technology tools. The same thing, our learners need to respond using these softwares. So I don't know, this is just part of introduction and about 4IR. So I would like to talk much about knowledge, background, ability to use softwares, ability to engage with the right ICT tools. We can even check our policy, ICT policy. It talks about effective use of ICT, choosing right ICT resources. This will lead to those forces that I mentioned. This will lead to those competency skills, because at the end, our employers need someone with knowledge and background on how to use technology. We know that when we check, artificial intelligence now being used in the workplace. Human machines have been used in workplace. So all those things Yes, I understand many people used to say, no, 4i is about, it's going to take our jobs. Yes, it's going to take jobs, but it's going to create jobs. It's going to create jobs only if people are well educated in terms of 4IR. They understand and they have skills on how to use 4IR. Let's use technology effectively. Let's collaborate with our learners, because some of our learners out there, from what I observed previously, some of our learners, they are well resources with ICT. They know much about technology. They understand better about how to use 4IR. So it's very important that as part of collaboration, collaborative learning, we engage with our learners as our stakeholders on how to use 4IR. Problem that we face now in our schools is accountability. We cannot just say, here are the resources that you can use to teach, but our teachers are not well trained. They don't have a way forward on what things need to be done, how to teach these learners, how to prepare these learners for the future. I'm telling you, if our teachers are using technology, our learners are going to learn much from their teachers. They are going to learn much. For example, during this COVID-19, most of schools, especially private schools, they were able to continue with their teaching and learning during the hard lockdown, because their learners are well prepared. Their teachers are well prepared. They can engage remotely on how to learn. They can use resources. They can use softwares, Zoom. They can use Ultras. They can use Google Team. They can use a lot of tools, lot of collaborative tools to be able to facilitate their teaching and learning during this lockdown. So it's very important that the right ICT tools that we use are well effective. They are well accessible for both teachers and learners. So I don't know if there are many questions, or I would like to stop here and I will be ready to answer questions at the end. Thank you so much, Ms. Kay.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. I think if there's one thing that has definitely come through is your energy and your passion for 4IR, and just acknowledging that we are nowhere where we need to be, because it's really starting with acknowledging what we're getting wrong to be able to get things right, and also being aware that there is so much involved around, the concept of 4IR. So we use the term so loosely, and yet underneath that, we need to unpack the basics first before we can even evolve and move forward, especially in the education sector, which I'm sure a lot of our principals will also contest to as well. But thank you for that, and thank you for your passion. So we're going to hold any questions. I see there's some comments coming through, and absolutely, I mean, we really need to get our children ready, for the job market, and more so create that equality when it comes to technology, because that's what it's about. It's about breaking the barriers so that every child has equal opportunity and exposure. But we have to start with the adults first. So we have to start with ourselves and what we know around technology before we expect the children to do it, because they're a lot more advanced than we are. But so we need to also catch up with them as well. So on that note, so I'll just hold any questions. So just give everybody some time to reflect on what Patrick has said.